Hello, everybody. Welcome to another SGSO Network member highlight. These are interviews where we're highlighting folks who are experienced in different facets of garden education. My name is Daniel Barrera Ortega, and I'm the program specialist here at the SGSO Network. And I'm joined by...
Hi, I'm Reggie Jones, and I'm the Director of Training and Curriculum at LifeLab. And I'm so happy to be here with.
Brianna Abundiz, and I'm affectionately known in Nevada County as Farmer Bree.
So yeah, we're really excited to interview Brianna. This member highlight is kind of focusing on building relationship with your local Indigenous communities and how to incorporate that into school garden programming. And Brianna has a lot of experience in this field, so we're really excited to be here with you. So just to get us started, to get us a little bit oriented, tell us about your organization and your role. Where are you located? How long have you been doing this work?
This next season will be my 10th season as a garden educator. I work for a little nonprofit up in the northern foothills called Sierra Harvest. And I work in a lot of the local public schools as well as some charters and work with some homeschools. And yeah, I've been doing this for 10 years. It's been quite a long journey.
Wow. Okay, so tell us a little bit about your background and how you came into this work.
I came into Sierra Harvest as an intern in 2015. 2017, I went through a Life Lab certification. And then again in 2022, I became a Life Lab certified educator. And at that point, I was running 5 school gardens and had just started managing our educational farm, working with the summer camps. So spring field trips, fall field trips, and summer camps, school gardens, live and breathe the school farm to school movement.
It's a slippery slope, isn't it?
It is.
Once you drink the Kool-Aid, you're like, I'm in it to win it. So again, you've had a lot of experience working with field trips, with school gardens, and this specific highlight, well, we wanted to really get to know how your organization has built relationship with your local Native community. So how did your organization build relationship with your Indigenous communities? And how does that translate into your programming?
So about 12 or 13 years ago, there was a plot of land that Leo Chapman saw. He just happens to be my mentor. But him and Amanda Thibodeau seen this place, and it called to them. It just so happened that the Bear Yuba Land Trust and the Sayakami tribe were both caring for that land. They leased us 2/3 of an acre to start an educational farm. Throughout the years that I worked there, I think the farm existed probably 2 or 3 years before I came in. But when I stepped in as manager, I felt that it was my place to really appreciate the past caretakers. And so I started building a relationship with 4 Earth Elements, also known as 4E, Chairman Don Ryberg, and really wanted to support the tribe and the land, because you can't get healthy food without having healthy soils. So I really wanted to tribute back to those past caretakers and recognize them. And everybody's doing land recognitions and like to recognize who was on the land first. And I wanted to do more than that. I wanted to get involved. And so that's what I did. I started volunteering. Also, part of our lease agreement is that we do 40 hours of land service with the Sayakami tribe and 4E to caretake the land that we're using.
I think your story just emphasizes the importance of getting out there and deciding to get behind a cause. And you kind of said this already, but about volunteerism, how you move from volunteerism to now just being really hands-on, and it sounds like being employed to do the thing that you love, the thing perhaps that you started volunteering with. So I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about, it sounds like that was the first place you started. That is where you started getting into this work, was through volunteering. And so would you say that that's a good place to start, volunteering, or would you have any advice about a good place to start when we're wanting to get involved with Indigenous communities?
Yeah, absolutely volunteering, finding out who your local tribe is. And, there's not just going to be one, there are so many tribes. And a great place to start too is something like Chappaday Indian Health Center. How can you volunteer there? Who's your local tribe? Where, even your local food bank, and finding out how to get food to some of those populations that are more in need. Because I always find that we're out there. It's just, we're just not showcasing that we're there, and we definitely need help. So you will find different volunteer opportunities when you start digging into just your regular community service programs.
Yeah, thanks for highlighting something that I think is not often discussed in the mainstream, which is organizations that are on reservations that focus, they're called Indian health organizations, but they focus solely on the health of Native American people. And that's where a lot of work happens, it sounds like. I mean, you've had that experience through your own volunteering. But what if I'm new to this movement? I'm brand new. I've never done anything like this. What is a piece of advice that you would give to someone like me who's just brand new and yeah, it's kind of just trying to find my way?
Yeah, well, that Indigenous Peoples Day is a celebrated holiday now. So surrounding October, and I don't want to just say that it's a day. It's all the time, it's every day, but especially during October, there's a lot of places that are also celebrating and highlighting Indigenous peoples in all sorts of places, because we are all Indigenous to somewhere. And so being able to just, put your ear to the ground and start finding out where your local peoples are from and what they're doing, especially in October, it's going to be really easy to find where you can fit in.
Yeah, thanks for saying that. I appreciate your kind of acknowledgement that Indigenous people can be celebrated every day. In October, the resources are especially perhaps available to us in a way that they may not be available throughout the year. So collect them then if need be, and then spread them around as the year goes on.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I really like also this piece you said of sometimes you have to put your ear to the ground, because again, it's something that's happening through the entire year. And something that we talked about too, is we're all Indigenous from somewhere, right? Maybe my culture, Colombian culture, is not from here, the United States, but I do have connections with Indigenous cultures back in my own country. So
Yeah.
trying to think about having that frame of reference makes you just want to be curious. In that same way, I'm also curious of what are some of the some of the partnerships that you're having with schools. I know that you had mentioned in the past that there were you're working with some classes specifically.
Yeah,
Really
so fifth grade
highlighting.
classes at Lyman Gilmore Middle School. Our work really started revolving around homeschools. And so it was difficult, or I wouldn't say difficult, but you have to have connections. You got to build a community where you want to serve. And you have to be trustworthy. You're working with kids. So, you gotta be on time. You gotta do what you say you're gonna do. And throughout the years, you build trust with a lot of teachers and staff at your schools. There at 4E, they were serving homeschools, and then we were serving public schools. So naturally, I wanted to try to bridge that and help them kind of reach out to the public schools, because I believe that it's fourth and fifth grade curriculum. So it's really beneficial for these kids to get these hands-on experience of these earth skills, right? So we all have one thing in common, because we're human, and not only humans, but our four-legged friends too, our birds, our flyers. We all eat. And what I like to joke with the kids and try to get them to say, we all eat and we all poop, right? And so we all have some stuff in common. But most of all, it's part of the curriculum. It makes such a rich curriculum to come out and get these hands-on lessons and be able to eat some of these foraged and indigenous foods, but how to start a fire, how to grind the acorns. There's many grinding stones in the area that we have our 40-acre land preserve, where our outdoor classrooms are. And so to be able to bring the fifth graders out and show them the history and try to get them to picture what it looked like thousands of years ago, that literally our whole area was like a grocery store, and the indigenous population knew how to get the food to come to them. And it's really beautiful to showcase that for our public school kids.
Yeah, indigenous foodways, right?
Yeah.
We did a whole newsletter at the SGSO network about indigenous foodways. You're right, a lot of this is tied probably through the entire country to some part of their curriculum. So
Yeah, fourth and fifth grade is where I've seen that it's really big. And Liz Alkema from Lyman Gilmore, she's a fifth grade teacher there. She really just appreciated the importance of it and made it one of her priorities to make sure that her kids were part of this. And it meant a lot to me. And it meant a lot to the tribe too.
well, again, it sounds like you have there's ongoing effort. There's ongoing programs. You've built these relationships. They're just kind of rolling and creating really amazing experience for your students. And again, really centering your local indigenous communities, not just the big umbrella of the idea of Native American, but also it's very local because these boundaries, we made them up, right?
Right.
So just in starting to kind of shift gears and wrap up, I wanted to ask you if is there anything exciting going on in your organization that you would like to share that we should be on the lookout for, or any
Well,
resources you like to highlight?
so one thing I just absolutely love to highlight is Chappaday Indian Health Center. They thought that it was so amazing that we were putting on these camps that they decided to support us. So literally, healthcare professionals can prescribe my summer camp, and they what is it called? They sponsor or they give us a donation to make sure that those kids that they tell about the program can have a spot at camp. So they literally give us a name. The parents call us. We get them enrolled, and that camper will get to spend a whole week at Food Love Farm with hands-on cooking every day at camp. It literally revolves around what we grew and what we're going to prepare for lunch. So for Indian Health Center, Chappaday Indian Health Center to feel the importance to support us like that is just so amazing. And it makes me so happy because a lot of the kids are from the public schools that I have gardens in. And then when they walk through those garden gates over at Food Love Farm and they realize that, oh, hey, it's Farmer Bree or it's Farmer Adam or it's Farmer Dana that I get to work with at school. Now I get to spend a whole week with them. And then every Friday I make something really special. I want to give the kids an awesome gift to take home. And so we make tamales and we learn about indigenous foods and highlight our indigenous local farmers. Now I'm going to try to say the name. It's Kalamai Teoteca, but the translation is Sacred House Surrounded by Flowers. And Tony and Sarah come in and work with me on Fridays every week of camp. We try to hold at least 4 or 5 camps a summer. And so that is 4 or 5 times that these kids get to experience this outside of their school gardens. So usually we try to have Tony and Sarah come in and do one lesson at each one of our school gardens. And so I just love to highlight them, love to highlight 4E and Don Ryberg for sharing his life story with us and giving us somewhere to celebrate and also participate in ceremony.
Awesome. Well, again, I'm really excited to also, you just shared a lot of resources, and I'm really excited to dig into all of them. Once again, this is just a little bite size into everything that you're doing. So we're very, very, very grateful for you taking time to share with us and share with the rest of the network.
Yeah.
All of these organizations, as well as your Brianna's organization's social media, will be posted in our website where we will house this highlight.
Cool.
And other than that, thank you so much again for joining us, both you, Brianna, and everybody watching this member highlight. And we really hope that you will join us in our next network member highlight. So thanks, everybody.
Awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, that was great. Thank you.